Hi, I'm Nancy Tartaglione, international box office editor and senior contributor at Deadline, and today I have the great pleasure to be joined by Oscar-nominated actress and just lovely human being, Emily Blunt.
Thank you very much.
So, Emily, welcome to Deadline's studio here at
Thank
the
you.
Red Sea International
Thank
Film
you so
Festival.
much.
Have you been here before?
Never.
Okay.
And it's been the most beautiful, warm embrace. It's really wonderful. It's very cool.
You got an award. Was it yesterday?
I did, yeah.
They didn't give you like a Lifetime Achievement Award yet, did they?
I hope not. I mean, I think it was just like, I'm hoping so far.
Right.
So
Okay.
far, so good kind
Okay.
of award.
An appreciation award.
I think so, yeah.
I was going to say they're starting very young.
I know. Thank you for saying that, Nancy. Yeah, it was really, it's a wild thing, you know, because you see, it's almost like seeing your life flash before your eyes. It's very moving and surreal to see it all played back at me. And yeah, it was cool.
Obviously, coming off of Oppenheimer last year,
Yeah.
and you talked a little bit about this the other day. You know, the whole thing of award season and that whole kind of train ride that just sort of
Yes.
carries you along.
Yes.
And then and there's been
Oh, you're getting a fly on
Yeah.
you. There we go.
there's been other stuff in the meantime. But what are you currently? I know you've got a movie with A24 that's
Yes.
that's completed.
That's
correct?
completed.
Yeah.
We finished it in early August.
Right.
And it's Benny Safdie's directing it. It's myself and Dwayne Johnson. It's telling the real life story of the kind of godfather of heavyweight MMA, this guy Mark Kerr. But it's really not about the guy with his fist in the air. This is a story about struggle and the struggle of a lot of fighters and what they go through, and with addiction, with relationships. And it's just a very intense, very beautiful movie.
Right. And did that, with Benny Safdie, did that come about from Oppenheimer? Yeah.
Well, it's funny, when we were on Oppenheimer, Benny said, "You're friends with Dwayne, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "I was going to do this movie with him before COVID," and we were sort of still in COVID at that point. It was sort of 2022, I think. And he said, "Did he ever mention this movie, Smashing Machine?" And Benny sent me the documentary, and then I called Dwayne, and I was like, "You got to do this movie. This is unbelievable, and you have to work with this guy." And they reconnected, and I watched the documentary, and it's a really kind of thrilling watch. It's very hard to watch some of that fighting because it was so brutal. But then a couple of years later, the movie resurfaced, and Benny wrote it and was ready to make it, and came to me to play Mark's girlfriend, Dawn. And I'm so grateful. It was such an immersive, amazing time.
So that's exciting. And then in the meantime, I know I wanted to ask you, you're probably not going to be able to tell me anything, but I want
About
to ask
Steven's
you.
movie? I could tell no one.
Right.
But I'm doing Steven Spielberg's next movie, which we start in February. And that's all I can tell you.
Right.
That's it.
Okay. It's no slouch of a director.
I know. I was so awestruck to even get the call, and then in the meeting he goes, "Would you like to know why you're here?" And I was like, "Yes, please," because I was trying not to dork out and just talk to him about endless scenes from Jaws that I've been obsessed with for years. And yeah, he's really magical. I'm very happy. Oh, look, see, the flies.
Oh, there you go.
Now.
Okay, sorry, I jinxed you. I'm
For me.
sorry. Well, did he tell you why you were there?
Yes.
Can you tell us?
No. No, I give away everything.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I would exactly do the same thing. I would completely geek out over
Would
Jaws.
you? Have you ever
over
spoken to
Jaws.
him?
No, I met him on the street once, I think, in New
You
York when I
did?
was a little kid, though. But,
Yeah. Do you love Jaws as well as much as I do?
Like in the top 10, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
just,
completely.
I've seen it way too many
I know.
times. I know every single word of it. It's kind of tragic.
And then, okay, well, we won't know too much more about
Yeah,
that for a
you
while.
will
but,
soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's a good hint. Maybe
Yes.
there's a reason. Maybe we can figure out what the reason is that you were there.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of, incredible, iconic, amazing directors, have you received a call from Chris Nolan yet for his next movie, which he seems to be casting?
I'm busy with Spielberg.
Okay.
But no, I'm very excited for him to be making another iconic, massive, incredible film, I'm sure. And Matt Damon lives in our building.
Yes,
so
I do.
He's
I
pretty
did a Zoom
stoked.
with him once, and he kept saying, "Oh, Em and John and Em
Oh
and John
yeah, we
upstairs."
just
and
hang
whatever.
out in our slippers. But he's really over the moon. It's wonderful.
Oh, that's awesome. Is there a muscle in your body that needs to be kind of,
Worked.
yeah?
Probably many, but after
I think you know what I'm
after
gonna
the pastry
ask you.
basket I had this morning, probably a lot.
But do you ever think? I know, like all I really want to do is direct. But
I don't know about directing it. I'm really trying to learn never to say never, but because I think I'm really enjoying producing stuff, and even if I don't end up being in it, that's fine. I love building worlds and stories, and I think that's probably what I want to do right now. I think I would really love to get back on stage at some point. It's been 20 years or something.
Oh, wow,
terrifying.
that
Get
long.
out of here.
Sorry about the fly.
Out of here. Maybe something like that at some point.
Right. In either in New York or
I think in New
because
York,
you
'cause
you
we
live in
live
Brooklyn,
there
right?
and the
So
kids go
would
to
it be?
school there, yeah.
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 Okay. And then something else that I was wondering, just in terms of, I know you spoke about, potential Devil Wears Prada sequel yesterday and whatnot, but
Yeah.
just in terms of, and you said, you kind of, they show clips of, your work and
Yeah.
you feel like, you're looking back over, which is, it's not that long a time. I mean,
No, I mean, I
but-
guess it's like 22 years.
yeah. Yeah.
Quite long.
But I guess so.
Gone
But
by in a blink.
yeah,
It's just
well, that's what it
wild.
feels though. It feels
Yeah,
like it's
a
gone by
blink. It's
quite.
so
It feels like
wild.
you've been here always, but yet you still look like you're
God,
25.
Thank
So,
God you're here, Nancy.
but what do you think for you has been the biggest, I guess, learning curve
Learning
or
curve.
lesson, through that time? I know it's a big question, but if there's one thing you could
So many
pinpoint.
learning curves, so it's quite hard to specify just one. I've learned that balance is huge in my life. I need it. But I've learned that I think I've become more and more, since becoming a mommy and since becoming, I guess, more well-known, that my time on set and that immersion has become increasingly something I'm very protective of.
Okay.
And something that I really hold very dear. It is the true escape. It is like this parallel life that I'm very addicted to, and I need it, and I love it. And I've learned that it's okay to be scared all the time, when you're approaching something new. It's good for me to put my feet to the fire. I don't want to be straitjacketed. I don't want to be safe. I've learned to be bolder in general with what I take on and what I'm into.
Right. Do you feel like you need to be? I mean, I know some people say they need to be, kind of scared to
Yeah,
actually
I do
dive
very
in.
much. Yeah, I don't want to have all the answers if I read a script.
Right.
I want it to be a complicated reaction when I read something.
Right. And presumably the Spielberg movie was that.
Yeah, very much so. Okay. It lit me up. It was so thrilling.
Okay. One other question for you, and we'll let you get on with your day.
Sure.
Is there any hint of a possible Edge of Tomorrow?
I mean, there's hints of it, but I don't think
Sequel?
anything's been written. I think we're always kind of throwing ideas around, and I see Doug a lot. I love him, and I think it was such a unique, incredible experience. And, I always get a little gun shy of sequels because I think that there was something, especially when a movie becomes sort of this culty, iconic thing for people. But I think if we can beat it, or we can at least match it, because I don't know how Doug Liman got so much mileage out of a repeating day. It was just so brilliant. And, we'd have to kind of create something that's emblematic of the first one, but yet it's sort of something that can be as impactful. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
And add
Someone's got to
something.
get.
But you feel
someone's
like
gotta
you would
get
do it. I
writing.
mean, obviously, it would depend on.
Could my back take it anymore? That's the thing. That's my question.
Well,
is-
maybe that's the difference. Maybe it's not as, maybe you don't have that suit
yeah,
on.
the suit was very challenging. I'm sort of like, I'm gonna have to do a lot more sit-ups to be ready for Edge of Tomorrow too.
Okay, well, let's hope it comes to pass.
Yeah,
I'm sure
we'll
your
see.
abs are fine, but it's just,
Well, I don't know if they're quite what
or
they
your
were in
back
that,
muscles,
but like 2 children later, I'm like, but we'll see.
Okay, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.